As the electrical generator housing was hit with a deafening crash, the entire offshore installation was jolted with a sudden, violent force that reverberated through the metal structure. The lights flickered and then went out completely, leaving the interior quarters in pitch darkness. The installation manager, who had been monitoring the situation from his control room, felt his heart sink as he saw the screens go blank and the alarms fall silent. He knew that without power, the crew were completely vulnerable. They would be left without any means of communication, and any warning they could have sent out to the other drilling platforms was now impossible. Les Dixon knew that they were in a race against time and that every second counted. Without any power, there was also no way to pump the gas out of the well, and there was a real risk of an explosion. As Dixon struggled to come up with a solution, he could feel his anxiety mounting. His mind raced as he tried to think of a way to restore power, but the damage to the generator housing was too severe.
"There's a satellite phone in my quarters,"
said Owen Brown. The fear was detectable in his voice. Dixon knew that the fear was well-founded.
"One of those creatures is still down there. Want to end up like Chadsworth?"
He struggled to shake away the image from his mind, those triangular upper teeth biting through her torso, the torrent of blood. Shannon Chadsworth didn't stand a chance when that monster torpedoed into the dormitory, slapping its leathery bat-like wings against the steel floor and snapping its razor-toothed mouth around until it snatched the second mate by the pelvis. The winged shark beast wiggled and chewed the screaming women effortlessly like it knew some trick on how to eat hands-free. Dixon, his body trembling with exhaustion and determination, mustered all his strength as he crawled along the vibrating control room floor. Each movement was an arduous struggle against the relentless force of wind and rain gushing through the smashed windows, but he refused to succumb to despair. His eyes fixated on the figure of the stranger, Dr. Ambrosian, who huddled under the protective shelter of the bulkhead. The stranger's presence offered a glimmer of intrigue amidst the chaos that surrounded them. With every painstaking inch, Dixon inched closer, his heart pounding in his chest, fueled by a mix of fear and an unyielding determination to reach the enigmatic figure. Brown, the facility's operations engineer, yelled,
"Hopefully, the other platforms haven't been attacked as well."
Dixon reached out and grabbed Ambrosian by the shoulder, pulling the strange scientist closer.
"Now, I want you to explain to me what these things are."
A few hours earlier, the helicopter pilot, heading back from the Kipper oil platform, noticed something strange in the water below him. Upon closer inspection, he saw a man floating helplessly in the frigid waters. The pilot immediately radioed for a rescue team to be dispatched to the area. The rescue party arrived quickly and managed to pull the man from the water. He was shivering uncontrollably and barely conscious. They wrapped him in blankets and brought him back to the drilling platform. When the man regained some level of consciousness, he was questioned about how he had ended up in the water. All he could manage to say was a series of incoherent phrases and verbiage that made no sense to the rescue team. Despite their efforts to get some information out of him, the man revealed a tranche of information that was mostly gibberish. Ribonucleic acids, elasmopterans, alternate timelines. The man sounded insane, yet appeared resoundingly focused. Wearing a filthy white blouse under a brocade vest, Ambrosian looked up at Dixon and said with an outlandish accent,
"That's not important. What is important is that they're spawning in a nest somewhere out there. Their gestation period is brief, their metabolism is fast, their learning curve is quick. We have to destroy the nest."
"Where is this nest?"
asked Brown.
"They are located in laboratory vats inside my research vessel. The Salaka sank just out over the continental shelf, due south from here."
"Sank? How?"
demanded Dixon. The man frowned.
"We scuttled it. As soon as the first batch of elasmopterans proved to be."
A horrendous scream cut him off, followed by a powerful thud.
"We need to get back and warn your people."
"You created these sky sharks?"
Dixon's anger boiled as he was beginning to suspect the man, with the mechanical copper watch and quaint beard, may be genuine, impossible as it may be. Ambrosian replied,
"Once the elasmopterans figure out that there's a coast full of carbohydrate snacks, there'll be nothing stopping them."
Through clenched teeth, Dixon said,
"Then let's get moving."
The three men scuttled toward the upper decks. Bloody guts and eviscerated humans littered the gangway. A dark cloud dominated the sky, sending down a thick drizzle. Dixon looked up and spotted the colony of bat-like monsters descending from the eastern heavens. With wingspans twice as long as their shark-tailed bodies, they looked more like flying foxes. They only resembled bull sharks when these beasts flew close. 100 meters out, they folded their wings and plunged into the sea. They dove in and out, sailing across the water, then leaping up over the platform, taking out anybody unlucky enough to have decided that that was a good moment to make a dash for the red Sikorsky S-76C waiting on the helipad. Brown launched his arms into the air and waved at the helicopter pilot. Before Dixon can stop him, a sky shark corrected its course and snapped up Brown by the head, sending his body airborne. Mid-flight, the monster thrashed until the head was severed from the torso.
We gotta go,
Screamed Ambrosion. Dixon looked at the waving pilot inside the Sikorsky. He ran, preempting Ambrosion. They both sprinted up the gangway to the helipad. When they got to the helicopter, they were greeted with,
"What the fuck is this shit?"
The pilot's terror added to the fear-induced mental paralysis Dixon felt.
Get us in the air!
Yelled Dixon. The engines groaned to life.
"Where to?"
Asked the pilot.
Kingfish Bee!
Answered Dixon. The pilot nodded and pulled the throttle. The blades above turned translucent as the Sikorsky's engine picked up thrust. When the Sikorsky lifted off the pad, Dixon spotted a sky shark performing a nosedive above them.
Get moving!
He yelled. Before the Sikorsky could clear the helipad, the kamikaze shark collided with the rotor blades. The Sikorsky shook, its engine strained, losing torque as the blade shredded the half-ton sky monster. Blood sprayed the occupants, soaking them and causing Dixon to say an improvised prayer.
Jesus fuck! We're dead! God help us!
The Sikorsky survived and stabilized, soaring above the waves.
head to the coast.
Yelled Ambrosion.
Kingfish Bee is closer!
Insisted Dixon. Ambrosion leaned towards the pilot.
Don't listen to him. Kingfish Bee is gone, just like Kipper, just like here. This flying machine can outrun these Elasmopterans. We can make it.
Dixon looked back. The colony of Elasmopterans was pursuing them, but they were losing ground.
What about if they discover the coast?
What about it?
Asked Ambrosion.
You said there'll be dire consequences if they found their way to the mainland.
Dr. Ambrosion shoved Dixon out into the void, sending him hurtling down into the gray sea.
That is correct.
Said Ambrosion as he turned his attention to the pilot.